In this video, I'm going to crack the code on Social Security spousal benefits. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
Hi everybody, it's Jeff Schmidt with HolySchmidt.com and welcome to another episode. Hey, are you confused about Social Security spousal benefits? If so, you're not alone. This episode is going to break down Social Security spousal benefits 3 different ways. How benefits are calculated if the spouse never worked, how benefits are calculated if the spouse has a work history, and finally, how benefits are calculated in the event of a divorce. It's important to note so that nobody's confused that this entire episode is being discussed from the perspective of the spouse receiving the benefits. It also assumes that both partners are alive, so we're not going to discuss survivor benefits today. Finally, for the purposes of this video, we assume that full retirement age is 67. Now let's get right into it. Let's start off with the fundamentals, the length of marriage rules. The Social Security Administration has rules around length of marriage so that people can't game the system. Get married on Monday, file for benefits on Tuesday, and then get divorced on Wednesday, etc. This section is brief, but it's going to cover off what those rules are. First, the rules around spousal benefits. The marriage requirements are simple. It's 1 year, and the primary filer has to have filed for his or her own benefits. It's clean, it's simple, and it's easy to understand. The other type is the benefits for a divorced spouse whose ex is still alive. And the rules are pretty clear. You have to have been married for 10 years, not remarried, and your ex-spouse has to have filed for his or her own benefits. By the way, stick around to the end because I'm going to discuss exceptions to the length of marriage rules for both spouses and ex-spouses. Let's start off with the spousal benefit for a spouse that has never worked or doesn't have enough work history to claim his or her own benefits. Everything is based on 2 things: how old the spouse is when he or she files for benefits, and if the primary earner has filed for their own benefits or not. And just to note, the spouse cannot claim benefits if the primary earner has not filed for his or her own Social Security benefits. If the primary earner has filed for Social Security, then the spousal benefit is based on the age of the spouse when filing. The closer they are to full retirement age, the higher the percentage, but not to exceed 50%. If the primary filer's benefit at full retirement age is $2,500, then the spousal benefit, if the spouse is 67, is half of $2,500. In other words, it's $1,250 per month. At age 62, they receive 32.5%, or $812.50. And if the spouse is somewhere in between, let's say age 65, they'll receive $1,041.50. It's also worth noting that there's absolutely no upside to wait past full retirement age for the spousal benefit, because unlike the primary filer's benefit, which can keep going up to age 70, the spousal benefit caps out at 50%, and that's at age 67 for the purposes of this video. By the way, before we go any further, make sure you hit the like button down below, because YouTube uses the like button for its algorithm, and it raises this video's place in the search results. I want to make sure that as many people as possible get the opportunity to view this information. Now that I got that out of the way, back to the video. The next is a little bit more complicated, and that is if the spouse has their own work history and they can actually claim benefits on their own. In this instance, they can either claim their own benefits or the spousal benefit, but they can't claim both. So if your benefit is over 50% of the spousal benefit, it makes no sense to file for spousal benefits because you won't get anything. Now here's where it gets a little bit murky. If your benefit is less than 50% of the spousal benefit, can you file early and pick up the spousal benefit later? Well, like anything, the answer is it depends. By the way, for those of you that have Instagram, I just started an Instagram channel. It's _Schmidt list on Instagram, so make sure you check it out. It has different information about Social Security than what we have here on YouTube. Let's look at example number 1. If you're 67 years old and your benefit is $1,000 a month, the primary filer's benefit is $2,500 a month, then at 67 you would be entitled to half of the primary filer's benefit, meaning $1,250 a month. So in that instance you get $1,250, not $1,000. But what is that $1,250 comprised of? If you look at this chart, it's comprised of your $1,000 benefit plus a $250 top-up to get you to the $1,250. But let's say you were 63 years old and you filed. Again, assuming that your spouse has already filed, you would receive 75% of your $1,000, so that's $750, plus a top-up of 70% of $250, so that's $175. So your total payment would be $925. This is because there are different speeds for the spousal benefit and the primary filer's benefit to get to full retirement age benefit of 100%, or 50% in the case of a spousal benefit. But what if you're 63 and you have a primary benefit coming, but your spouse hasn't filed yet? So you file at age 63 and you get 75% of $1,000, so that's $750. But there is no top-up because your spouse hasn't filed. Now let's say that your spouse waited until you were 67 before he or she filed. Your top-up would be the full $250. So you'd receive your original $750 from when you were 63, and the top-up would happen at 67, so you'd have a total of $1,000 per month. As promised, we're going to cover the exceptions to the length of marriage rule for both spouses and exes. First, the exception to the 1-year period on the spousal rule. If you marry someone who's the natural father or mother of your child, then the 1-year waiting period is waived. Also, if you were entitled to a spousal or survivor benefit on someone else's record before you got married, then the 1-year period is waived. Next is the divorce rule exception. You don't need to wait for your ex-spouse to file for benefits if you have been divorced for at least 2 years and your ex-spouse is at least 62. At this point, the spouse and the ex are making different decisions about their lives, and so therefore it would make sense that you decouple the primary filer's decision from the spouse's decision to file for Social Security benefits. If you like this video, make sure you click subscribe and notifications so that you get notified when I post my next video. I try to post twice a week. Also, check out this video right here on 7 good reasons to file for Social Security at age 62. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.